to EBC Brakes.
So as you can see, we're here in the reception of EBC Brakes. I've always wondered how brakes are actually made, so I'm going to answer that question today. Let's go and have a look around. So we're here in the hydraulic press room. This is where everything gets pressed. It's really cool. Let's go to the first machine. So this is where they press a grippy material onto the metal, and basically what that does is make sure the rubber that's made down in Bristol doesn't slip off. Now over here you can see this is where the brakes are cut, so they come in a massive sheet through here, cut in there and out into that little tray. So here on the wall behind me you can see all their tools, really cool, so many of them. Let's go to the next machine. So over here is my favourite machine. This is the rumbler, so basically all the stuff gets dropped into there, it gets shaken around with some sand and some cool stuff, and it smoothens them all out. So this is a tool room where all the tools are made, so some welding going on in there, and they make some really cool stuff. So this is where all the floating discs here are just being cut out, laser cut, and then after that they're sent over to the other side to the motorbike workshop. So here you can see all the discs being laser cut, looks super cool. But yeah, so here you can see they've got different types of brake discs. So here's the two different types being cut on the same machine, really efficient, really useful. We're here at the motorbike disc manufacturing place, so they're sent over to there to be cut out of sheet metal, and then they have all their own designs and everything's cut, and it's super cool. So now we're coming over to the shot blaster where all the rust and all the little bits are blowing off the discs. So leaving that section, we're onto the bit where they do the turn and chamfer. Now this is basically the outer rim here is nice and shiny for the street bikes that look really cool, and honestly motorbike brakes always look awesome. So this is where all the brakes are flattened, because throughout the process they might get a bit curved. So at the start of the production process they put into this machine, it flattens them out, and then next to it there is a bigger machine that flattens them at the end, just to make sure they're not juddery when they're on the bikes. So what you're looking at here is essentially a giant belt sander. Now this makes the brakes really high quality, really smooth, and also look really good. So here you can see the gigantic piece of sandpaper that goes in there to make the brakes look and sound really good. So here is where the brakes are really good on quality, because they're checked so they're entirely flat, so they can be done by hand and put into machines. And then they've just purchased a new machine over here. Now what this does is accurately makes the discs really flat. It's got two rollers in it, one at each side, just to make sure the brakes are really high quality.
So basically here we are in skin pack, and obviously I'm Adam, by the way. As we do on this machine is basically we put the pads on the card, and obviously they're already labelled up. So now as we do, we turn the machine on, and then we just do that. And then basically what I do is I press the button here, and then what it does, if you come over here Max, so basically it'll go underneath here, underneath that table, and it'll raise up into this oven. And then what it does is it will melt the sirloin onto the pad, and then obviously to secure the pad onto the card. And then obviously it just comes along as normal blades. And then what this cutter does, obviously it cuts it into threes as it keeps going, as you can see. And then once that, obviously that's all done, and obviously I'll come over to, so obviously it comes over here, and then I'll come over here, mate. And then all I'll do is I'll pick them off this end bit here, and then into nines, add the one, put them in the 10. So if I do this quickly, so I'll just do that. sorry. 7, 8, 9. Then all I do is add the 10 onto this hole here. And then I'll just put it through the box like that. And it just goes through the tape machine. And it basically, it'll just look like that when it's all done.
That's super cool.
So yeah, so that's how it basically how it all works onto the machine basically. So, but yeah, it's a good job.
Yeah, nice little system.
I've been doing this for I think about 4 years now. I've done this.
Awesome.
So yeah, so obviously I've been working here for nearly 14 years. So obviously I've left school and I came here and I've loved it ever since.
It's cool.
And it's a good place to work and the people are great here.
Definitely.
So, but yeah, that's it basically.
So that is the packing section, super efficient, super cool. And if we come over here, we can see all of the automotive brakes. So we've got the EBC yellow stuff, which is what I run on my car, heats up super fast and is super, super cool. So this is where all the motorcycle brakes are stored. So you can see there they all are, they're picked out and then shipped off. So here you can see behind me, this is the burnout / donut room. There'll be a card in the top right if you want to watch that video, that was awesome. But yeah, that's where I did a burnout on some donuts. So this is where everything's put into a massive, massive box. So this box of yellow stuff brake pads going to the Netherlands. So although they did clean the floors, there's still burnout marks here from when we did the massive, massive burnout and set all the fire alarms off. So EBC Brakes make brakes for all sorts of things, planes, trains, commercial vehicles, trucks, and I thought mine were big, and that has got some weight to it. Now that is going to help you stop. So here is some more Westlake that has been burnt into the concrete. Really sorry guys, but it was really cool. So as you saw from the drone footage at the start of the video, this place is massive, and that means they can store loads and loads and loads of brakes. It's absolutely awesome. So this is where all the brakes are sprayed in a black coating to kind of prevent all the rust and corrosion that happens with time, and also where all the grooves are cut to let all that gas get out. So EBC have their dedicated racing brakes and big brake kits, so you can see they're stocked here. Let's go and have another little look, a little bit more into that. So this is more of the racing stuff here. So you can see, as you come through to here, this is where all the performance parts, so that's the bolt-on kit for the big brake kit. And then further back here, we've got like brake hoses for the Gen 5 Ford Mustang, so some really cool cars. And then even further back here, we've got stuff for like an E36 M3, Civic Type R, RX-8. Now over here is one of the brake kits, big brake kits. We can see on here it says for Audi R8, RS4, RS5 or a Lamborghini Gallardo. So this replaces your whole brake disc. It's nice and big and it's got its own custom mounting points, so you can run a massive giant brake disc. And then here is one of EBC's custom 4-pot brake calipers. Looks super cool in yellow. Really cool stuff. So here are the performance brakes all packed up. So they are actually pressure tested, the brake calipers, to make sure they're of highest quality, and then they're put into the boxes, shipped off, and to go on some really cool fast cars.
You're currently in the most interesting place in the factory. Today I'm making some GTR rear bell housings. So we're going from that lump of metal there, and we're finishing at this stage, which will be rear brakes and a GTR.
That's so cool.
This allows us to use floating rotors. And we do quite a range of cars, front and rear. And it's just today I'm working on rear. And to get to that stage, I need to use all 4 machines.
Cool.
So we start over there with a big blank. This is the first pass, and then we take stock out the other side, so they look like this.
Cool.
We go on to this one. Well, we're turning down, roughing all over. So now it's recognisable to the finished part.
Yep.
This up is just the finished size, and the clever bit we do on there, we put countersunk holes on the rear, so all the chamfers are in place when the part's finished.
Awesome.
So we don't do hand deburring there. The run out of the is like 20 microns. So when it goes on your car, it's spot on.
Cool.
I can show you a few others we've made. We have, so we make a few products in here. We do calipers. These are 4-pot. I'm currently setting up 6-pot. So they go from the casting to that, and they're all done on that machine in 2 operations. So here's my list of cars that are currently in our range. I don't know whether you know any of those.
Yeah.
So just grab one at random, and there's a Porsche 911.
Awesome.
And that'll go on a 34-inch rotor.
Awesome.
So to go with our calipers, we also have to make brackets. So I'll make these. These go from a solid block in 3 operations on that machine there. And then we can do a whole big brake kit, or balance brake kit, for a vehicle. So where you change your calipers, your rotors, your pads, everything.
Awesome.
And your car will stop on a 6-pence, guaranteed. Okay?
Awesome. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
So we're now leaving the racing machine shop into the Centre of Excellence, which you might have seen from some of the other videos. But here is where all the cool projects happen. So like this RX-8 here, go-kart, loads of cool stuff happens here. It's where they work on all the cars. They've got all the cool lifts, and everything goes off from here.
So that was a summarisation of how brakes are made. So we're going to go to Bristol at some point in the near future to see how the rest of the brakes are made. That's the actual compound that you might think is like the actual proper brake bit. But yeah, do head over to the EBC Brakes channel because we've got an awesome giveaway of loads of EBC merch. So we've got like mugs, I'll give away a signed hat and try and give away some other goodies too. All you have to do is go over, subscribe to EBC, comment on my video when you're done, and I'll pick someone out at random to win some cool stuff. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new and like for more. Bye.